Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Do I have your permission to record this interview on behalf of my research? Yeah,
Sure.
yes, yes, I do. Yeah, well, okay, let's start with the first question. Do you believe it is possible to promote students' autonomy in any kind of classroom?
I truly believe so. And if you ask me about all the abilities, I would say that you can do it with all the abilities. Is that just a general question?
Well, you can add more. Well, I may ask you, is there any special skill that you think could be more appropriate to promote autonomy?
Well, in the past, I thought that I was better with skills such as reading, for example, such as writing, for example, but these days I know that you can do that with speaking and then
Hmm.
listening. Actually, I'm doing that with my students in communication aids, and I am trying to promote autonomy
Hmm.
regarding their listening skill and speaking. That's something I thought was like odd, but then I realized that it was possible. It is possible.
Okay. Um, do you believe students' autonomy might help students' language acquisition?
Sure, I would say like the more autonomous you are,
Hmm.
the better things are going to be for you. I was pretty autonomous when I was studying here,
Hmm.
and sometimes students complain all the time because they say that a teacher was not demanding,
Hmm.
but I usually try to be like to study on my own and just to try to do my best. And that is what I tell students all the time. And they complain because they say our listening skill, for example, is poor because we don't have a teacher who is good
Hmm.
at listening lessons. But what about you?
Yeah. Um, what do you think the teacher's role is in a classroom where students are encouraged to be autonomous?
Okay, I would always say that autonomy is good,
Hmm.
but teachers play a good role, and it is like they, they are the ones who provide input, and they are the ones who are providing students with something, and then this something helps them to be autonomous. For example, just to give you an example, I remember when I was studying a subject that is called examen international.
Hmm.
I remember the teacher made me realize that my reading skills regarding impairing were poor. So, who was the one who helped me to identify them? The teacher. The teacher gave me tests, the teacher gave me exercises, and then I realized that I wasn't good enough. So I started to work on my own. But who prompted everything? The teacher?
Okay, yeah. How do you think the control of the class should be distributed between the teacher and the students if students' autonomy is being promoted?
Should I say half and half?
I don't know.
Well, uh, let's say something. Sometimes autonomy could be misunderstood,
Hmm.
and that is something that I don't like. I've seen in some classrooms where the teacher is just passing by or maybe smoking a cigar and doing different things, and I wonder, what is he doing? What is she doing? Sometimes, instead of criticizing, I have decided to talk to this person, and there I have discovered that some teachers believe that when they do that, they are promoting autonomy, but I am not in agreement with that. I believe that autonomy is important, it is useful, but it needs to be guided. Today, for example, just to give you an example, the students were talking about the things they hate the most in the world, and I gave them some time to think of these three different things, and they were using the book as a guide. While they were talking, they were completely autonomous. They were just
Hmm.
sharing ideas among themselves. What if I just leave it like that? And I don't ask them any question afterwards? How do I know the students were doing the activity or students were not doing the activity? So it is a good idea to give them freedom, as much freedom as they can handle, but then you can control the situation. So in that case, it was like half and half. They were working, they were doing the activity, But then I was just there asking them questions to make sure everything was working. But I was glad they did a very good job.
Mhm. Um, do you think a student's autonomy makes the teacher's authority and assistance unnecessary?
Mm-mm. As I told you
Yes.
before, that I know students who has been autonomous all his life. He learned English by himself. He was his own teacher, and his English is pretty good, I must say. But I realized that there are many things he still needs from teacher. Because sometimes, for example, he had come to the idea that he is excellent at doing everything. But then a teacher is guiding him, telling him that there are some weaknesses and some weaknesses that he has, and it is like a way of making him realize that there are some weaknesses. So I say that by no means
Mhm.
that teacher will be replaced, even if you are autonomous enough.
Okay, let's go for the last question. What kind of strategies do you think might be useful to promote students' autonomy?
My strategies or their strategies?
Well, if you know any of the strategies they use, you might tell me about them. But I would like you to tell me what strategies maybe you use to promote students' autonomy, and that you think are useful.
But related to listening or any skill?
Um, Related to the promotion of autonomy.
Okay. So which are the strategies?
And if you want, you can focus that on listening skill.
What do I do with this autonomy?
Mhm.
I assign some homework to students, and I give them like a pattern to follow. Then I ask them for the products they got. So I believe that that is a way to
Promote.
promote that students' autonomy and making sure that things are working.
Mhm.
I use group work as well. I sometimes have experience with being good, sharing information about certain issues, and then I give them guidelines. But when there is group work,
Mhm.
students have to make up their mind and use like their own strategies there to do what I ask them to do.
Mhm.
So group work, group work has worked in promoting autonomy in the classroom.
Mhm. Okay, thank you very much, and I appreciate your attention.